We're on a mission to talk to the 100 leading marketing minds in the automotive space. I'm Andrew Street, owner of Dealer OMG.
Matthew Davis here, Chief Marketing Officer at Trade Pending. Why are we doing this? Well, we like automotive, we like marketers, and we like retail automotive marketers. Our goal here is to give you the insights into what these leading marketers are thinking, planning, and doing.
Hey guys, if you want to hear somebody's story and growth from being an intern at a dealership up to being the marketing director with a staff overseeing a bunch of dealerships within a dealer group, from doing fleet, doing retail, and his experience using AI, working remote, keeping his team in communication, and really drilling down with his platforms into different profit centers at the dealership. You'll enjoy this conversation. This is 100 Marketers. I'm Andrew Street, and I'm here with Matthew Davis, and this is Dustin Schuler. Enjoy. Well, Dustin, you want to give us a quick introduction to who you are, where you work, what your responsibilities are?
Yeah, so my name is Dustin Schuler. I am the marketing director for the Bud Clary Auto Group, 14 franchise dealers in Washington State. We do have a body shop, 8 government fleet stores, 8 retail fleet stores, and we just got we have a second dedicated government fleet service center opening up this month. So exciting times to be with the group, help them grow from 8 stores to 14 so far. And I started as an intern, so that's pretty cool. I've been able to work my way up. So I know that there's some dealer groups out there that don't really promote within, but I'm a case study of that, being able to do so from here. So it's been pretty awesome.
What were your intern responsibilities?
I wasn't the intern that was going to get coffee all the time, even though they did push that on me a couple of times. But I kind of weaseled my way in as like an SEO specialist type deal, where I was finding broken links and different things like that, H1 tags that weren't optimized. And this was, around 2018, 2017 or so. And I didn't know how to do SEO at all. I was doing roofing at the time, and I was just watching YouTube videos and old MozCon recordings. So being able to do that, that was my training materials. And then, to be able to provide value and kind of prove my worth type deal. And I got hired on after about 3 months or so. So wasn't an intern for too long.
Roofing to automotive SEO.
Roofing to automotive SEO. A lot of parallels, a lot of heavy lifting for the group. But
You might not be the first, but I feel like, how long have you been in the auto industry now?
This month on the 17th would be 9 years. So
okay, yeah, you can't get out now. It's like once you get in, I've done it. I've emptied trash cans for people and things like that in my previous jobs. But like once you build out your Rolodex, you start understanding the different profit centers at the dealership and how you can make an impact from your desk. And you start building out your Rolodex of contacts in the auto industry. You're kind of in. You're in now.
Yeah, you've seen it too, where people they leave the automotive industry and then they're back within a year. So it's hard to pull away once you're in it. Yeah.
So have you graduated from doing other things besides SEO?
Yeah, I mean, I work as an agent for the Clarys at this point, where I just kind of work in what's the best interest for the auto group and what their goals are, and especially being able to grow. And really, we kind of break it out into different pillars of different profit centers. So each one has their own unique kind of KPIs that we work towards. But I manage everything from the vendor relations, the tier 2 relations, OEM relations as well, in terms of at least the marketing side with the Shift Digitals of JD Powers. Along with that, we run our own, our Google ads and Facebook ads. And besides that, I mean, we kind of lean on our vendors and our vendor partnerships to be able to execute our marketing plan from day to day.
Do you have a staff that helps you on your side of marketing?
Yeah, I have 3 team members right now. We actually have an SEO specialist in-house who helps create all the content, all the landing pages, which really helps, especially, staying on top of the new model releases and being able to have pages ready and live in a short time period for being able to get signups and people that are interested in those vehicles. And then in addition to that, we do have a social media specialist. And then we have a kind of a catch-all graphic designer, but he's able to do inventory feed requests and basically anything that you ask him, you throw his way. He's able to handle it. So that's a team, 4 people across all the different dealers. It's been working rather well. And then, like I said, we do rely on all of our vendor partners and relationships to be able to do a lot for us too, because there's so much that goes into this. But
it's good you're not a solo practitioner. Like God bless the ones that are. They got a tough job. It's always great to have a team.
Yeah, especially when you have scale. I've seen some of these solo marketing specialists or marketing directors, and I can't imagine having to deal with 15 stores or multiple states, different regions, different incentives, all that kind of stuff. So it becomes a lot.
Yeah, I've come across groups about your size that have one person that's in that seat and their hair is on fire and they're scheduling events and they're doing the fleet. They're doing like so many different things, websites, inventory feeds, all the breaks that happen. And then I'll go to like a single point dealership that's one roof that has 4 people in their marketing department. And it's
100%.
like, yeah, it's just completely different ecosystem and levels of support and design and creative and all the things that go into marketing. But it sounds like you've got a good setup. Are you guys in an office together? Or are you guys working remote?
So we actually have a corporate office out of Kelso, Washington, right next to our first couple stores that we have. And so that's where all of our employees are at. My marketing team, we have 3, obviously those 3 that they go into that office. And then right now I am fully remote out of Las Vegas, Nevada, but I do go and visit the stores, once to twice a month. And I will be, this month of August, I'll be there for 6 full days. So I still have a pulse, with the dealerships. And obviously there's all teams meetings and project management that goes along with that.
Right. Now, how do you think about managing essentially the need for brand awareness? So when somebody's getting in that buying cycle, they think of you first versus we just need leads right now.
Like, how do I think about the mix between the two? And
yeah, in terms of your marketing mix, maybe how you allocate budget or don't allocate budget.
Sure. I don't have like a set percentage type deal, but for brand awareness, our big thing is our grassroots events, being able to be a local sponsor within the community for some events, but also throw in our own as well. We were known for the PACE program, Perfect Attendance Creates Excellence, where we give out bikes to everyone that was in elementary school that had perfect attendance throughout the year. There was some stipulations, like you could have 1 or 2 missed days, but that's one of the big events we've ran in the past where Toyota's come out for it and gave us an award for it. And then, we are tied in with our local community, especially with like the Spanish organizations and things like that. Because in Eastern Washington, at least, we have a very high Hispanic population. So it's good to be in touch with, that community, especially at the grassroots level and helping them grow.
See?
And obviously we have to balance these things in terms of like what you're saying, where we need more leads. It's always the answer for everything from the general manager or GSM side type deal. But we do set a dedicated budget, and we spend about $50,000 or so per quarter, giving back to community, or else sponsored events, creating our own events and things like that too. But in other ways that we drive brand awareness as well is having different creative aspects, especially in our Facebook marketing or YouTube creative as well. So having the same ads, like on the first episode, what he was talking about, where you'd have a Florida dealer and an Oregon dealer that potentially have the same exact commercial and stuff like that. We've seen that. We've actually used vendors in the past that have done that. But it doesn't resonate. And like what you're saying, or like what he was saying in the past, was you have to be able to custom tailor it to your market and to your people, because otherwise it's just background noise. So that's kind of how we've been managing it, but no set percentage or anything like that for brand awareness versus need leads right now.
Yeah, in my experience, it's like very few dealers are branding, or at least branding well, especially when you have like a handful of stores that have the same name, to kind of unify it and have this corporate identity that's doing its marketing, that can be doing, even through social, like you're talking about, like pre-owned inventory sales, can do branding, can do recruiting for staff, and like a number of things where it's like the principal might like it, the marketing director might like it, but the general managers are like, no, don't take that out of my budget. Like
Right.
it's the 8th of August and we need to, we got 70 Tacomas that we need to move. Like they've got their own plan in front of them that doesn't involve sponsoring the Little League T-ball and getting the brand awareness out.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I'm very fortunate about was within my group, at least all of the leadership, especially the executive leadership, general managers and such, we actually kind of all embody that same spirit of, being part of the community and knowing the value that brings to not only us, but our community that we live in. Because as auto dealers, we always have that perception of the snaky used car sales guy type deal. But, especially in this day and age where information is just so readily available, it doesn't make sense to screw over your neighbor or something like that. And especially, we are in the community and we're going to be out there, at our kids' little league game or a soccer tournament, whatever else. So we don't necessarily have that issue, but I do know it's a big deal, especially when times are tough or money's tight. They don't want to spend, that extra expense on, sponsoring the local animal shelter or something like that, potentially, just because money's just so tight. So totally understand.
And I feel like that's like a cool avenue for you to be able to unlock this social media person or like charismatic people at the dealership level to convey like not the sneaky salesperson or that mindset, but to be able to introduce like, hey, here's people from the community that we employ that work with us, that help connect people with vehicles that maybe they didn't think they were going to be able to get into. And here's the service person who's worked here for 20 years and, use the marketing people that go in there to help pull this story out of the dealership. And that's why I got in touch with Matthew, because he was good at like going in there and interviewing the staff and getting like the human vibrancy and the pulse out of dealers. That's not just here's a shiny tool that's going to automate your advertising and it's going to, pull inventory, price, generate leads, automate lead nurturing.
It put me to sleep, Andrew. Like
blah blah blah. Yeah, it's cool. Like having people that can go out there and shoot this type of content, and like with all the technology that's outside of like the organic, cool, fun stuff, which my parents think I do, but like all the automation and technology, like how many tools do you feel like you guys are using in a given day for your marketing team?
We use a lot, but in terms of our tech stack right now, especially with the AI coming on board, we rely heavily on tools like Power Automate from Microsoft, ChatGPT, of course, especially with the GPT-5 just releasing. Excited to dive into that. Google VO3 is a new one that we've been testing out as well, especially with JSON prompting. It's a different format instead of just putting in a text prompt and stuff like that. Building out creative video with that, and it's been really exciting. But especially with my team being, hybrid / remote, we have to use a lot of different tools to be able to communicate with each other. So a lot of Teams meetings, a lot of Monday.com project management, and being able to keep track of everything. But definitely the tech stack has been growing quite a bit. And so putting a count on how many tools, I log into so many different dashboards, so many different tools. So there's a lot.
So you could use another dashboard is what I'm hearing.
No, we can't use another dashboard.
Hold on, I'm taking notes.
ADD.
Build a dashboard.
Build 10 more.
So give us a sense. You rattled off those first three tools. I was familiar with two of them, like the VO3, the ChatGPT. You said one first. Just give us a
Microsoft.
Yeah, Microsoft something or other. Like what are you using there? How are you using it?
So Microsoft Power Automate, it's similar to like N8N or Prismatic, where you're able to do kind of workflows, automate workflows, especially with AI.
You're vibe coding now.
Very similar, yeah, where you're able to just automate processes. So say an email comes in, we could ingest that data, use ChatGPT to format it a certain way, send it somewhere else. So we can use it in Power BI as a reporting, things like that. One of the main things that we've done is being able to automate the vehicle descriptions, being able to have those customized for every vehicle, where it includes the dealership address and phone number for every vehicle, like especially used cars, and be able to include all that, clean Carfax data, all that kind of stuff. So that's what Power Automate has allowed us to do. Obviously, ChatGPT, we've been able to use it for a lot of different creative scaling, in terms of email marketing, having custom creative at least a base template or, starting
Sure.
point where you're not having to write out everything. And then Google VO3, we're really early on with it. For the JSON prompts, it was really hard to get what you wanted out of it. Obviously, it'll get better over time, but VO3 was a big step in the right direction, especially compared to the previous models, where now it includes audio, not just voiceover, but also music in the background too, which is pretty incredible. And we've seen just some of these commercial producers being able to come from like pharmaceutical or other industries and use the VO3 to be able to have a $500,000 cost production quality just from a VO3 prompt, and it costs them like $500. So it's super exciting, especially I know you guys both have experience with shooting commercials and production, and the cost can be very expensive very quickly, especially with when you start hiring in actors, having the different cameras. If you have to fly a crew or go to different shoot spots, I mean, it stacks up really quick. So
When you
super
think
excited.
about mentally,
Mm-hmm.
when I think about AI, and I'm curious what you think, like there's like a spectrum of like, this is really amazing stuff. Wow, I can't wait to try it out, versus like, I'm totally overwhelmed and underwater. Where the heck do I even start? Like, where are you on that spectrum?
So I find myself on both sides of the spectrum multiple times, because it keeps getting better and better. There's different updates that come out, and then previously, especially in my role, I had to follow up on, or I still do, but I follow up on the industry trends. Like, okay, there's a new Google Ads campaign that came out. Just in the past week or so, we've had new things come up for Instagram in terms of like engagement reporting and stuff. So now we have to follow the AI trends and what's coming out with those and be able to use those tools. But having that knowledge, I mean, especially be able to stay ahead in such a competitive marketplace of automotive retailers, especially my markets, Seattle Metro, Portland Metro, we have some very sharp dealers. And so being able to keep up with the tools is very important for our job role at this point. But there's so many times where I find out something new and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this with it, or that didn't work at all. So
Totally.
you
Dude,
kind of bounce back and forth.
I like to think I'd be a lot like you if I was in your role, just like continually having to learn and research and find new tools and how can we unlock this. And then there's like a constant feeling of like, oh my God, we're behind. Like the GPT-5 is okay. Are we using it? Then you talk with other people like, okay, never mind. We're not behind. Everybody's behind, but we're less behind than a lot of people. And
Right.
Here's how we're going to have it, work with us. And we're going to save a ton of money that we can allocate to somewhere else with our budgets. And it's like, something I like hearing too is like, is there a moment that you can think of in this career from going from an intern to where you are, whether it's from like at whatever role, where you've had a big moment that was like, aha, I can do this. I'm nailing it here.
Yeah, well, I think the intern and my progression to where I'm at now as the marketing director, my first real role when I got hired on was the digital analytics specialist, which was an incredible role. Obviously, I handled the SEO stuff as well, but I was able to create kind of a reporting and how all that works for our group, and being able to tie in direct ROI between the things that we do, and being able to really know and be tied in with what we're doing in terms of marketing, and being able to connect it to the reporting, being able to have an ROI. That's really helped me, set up for success in terms of what we're doing in the future. We might need to cut that part out, but
Yeah, that's totally cool.
it's okay. But if I go back to that, we, with the digital analytics specialist role, I was able to create a bunch of different reporting, being able to know, the ROI of what we do, and that really set me up for success, especially in the marketing director role, being able to know what's the hot buttons for the ownership, what's the hot buttons for the different departments, different profit centers, how could I have an effect to be able to grow the dealership. And it makes it really simple for me, especially knowing that like, okay, we could, for used cars, it's being able to have vehicle acquisition, being able to acquire high quality vehicles without paying the auction fees. For new cars, we have to be able to measure our sales efficiency, being able to sell the new car volume we need to, measure CSI, being able to have a pulse on our reputation management and know, these are the problems that some of these departments are having, and be able to fix those or remedy them, or at least bring them to attention of the general managers or the service managers and things like that, because that sets us up for ownership to be able to acquire more dealers and things like that. So I would say really early on is kind of where I got my aha moment of, it really comes down to reporting. You kind of being able to report, measure what you want, and then being able to set up a plan to be able to attack those metrics and whatnot.
Andrew, did you have an aha moment? Because some days I feel like I'm great at my job, and other days I feel like I'm flailing around aimlessly.
It's those little victories, I feel like. It's like, haha, we got this big account, or we've unlocked little things within our own little ecosystem of like focused on social. Like when we're dealing with, like you're talking about Spanish audiences, like we've got a lot of Hispanic audiences that we cater to, and it's pretty easy to flip the switch, target people in Spanish. But then it's like, okay, a lot of them use WhatsApp. They all use WhatsApp. I'm now using WhatsApp, so we can drive ads from meta platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, right into WhatsApp and start the conversation there. And let's get the Spanish speaking virtual BDC to start the conversation and turn it into a phone call. It's like tinkering with tools like this and being like, I don't know if it's going to work, but let's try it. And if in 2 weeks it sucks, let's stop and move it somewhere else, or let's grow it. Like, let's grow that. And for fleet, it's like, okay, you have squad cars. Let's go after all the police departments in your state and just show them all of our inventory, like our fleet. And that's not what a lot of dealers are doing. Let's try to be the dealership that's doing something unique or on a platform that has a lot of attention, but other dealers aren't there really in a meaningful way yet. That was my way to
100%.
Yeah, so you're hitting upon something there. So marketing is always an experiment, and sometimes things work well and sometimes they don't. Dustin, what's working well for you guys right now?
What's really working well for us right now, I would say, is our used car acquisition, being able to buy cars off the street, being able to handle the KV leads well, or the different other third parties that have the sell my car leads. Most of the time, they give you a metric and they're like, if you get a 3% close rate, that's amazing. You're doing well. If you're doing 7% close rate, you're buying those cars, you're like the top tier dealers. And then, if we're able to do 15 to 25% or so, that's kind of our key to success. We have built out that kind of department, being able to acquire those vehicles. So we have a used car acquisition director that handles only those sell my car leads, and every store has an agent to be able to buy those cars off the street. And that's been working out really well for us. We haven't stepped into the radio territory and been able to brand that kind of stuff yet with a dedicated budget. As part of my 20 group of other marketing directors, we do have some other groups that have been able to do that already, and really take it to the next level. But that's something I'm really excited about, really proud of, and can't wait to keep growing. Especially if we could stop buying cars from auction, it changes the whole business. And there's some dealers that are doing it.
What kind of marketing are you doing towards those buying centers?
So right now we're paying for a lot of the different third-party leads, and then we have our own standalone website for being able to sell cars, which we built with a full AI tool. That's budclarybuyscars.com. And then we're driving traffic there. We're trying to promote more lead sources directly from the website versus having to rely on the third parties themselves. And then we're also looking at Craigslist, Facebook, and these other platforms that we're selling cars to be able to buy them off the street as well.
Are you guys doing anything with your DMS data to try to do vehicle acquisition, or like in the service department, giving people an offer?
Yeah, and we've been able to do that kind of actually with trade pendings tools too, being able to get like different offers in place, especially for the people that are coming through service, and then having QR codes, being able to go to our trade tools and stuff like that too, which has really helped us, at least on a passive level. We haven't cracked the code exactly yet in terms of being able to convert people from the service lane to the sales department. It takes a special person, so we've had that a few times. We've had some really shiny moments, but at scale across 14 stores, having 14 people that are able to do that, it's really difficult to have that special person across the board.
Yeah. And do you guys have like a call center that's reaching out to? Yeah, I know you have like a vehicle acquisition manager. Are you
Yep,
guys?
and
Go ahead.
yeah, so we have acquisition specialists at every store, and so we do have people that are doing those outbound calls. We don't have a BDC team dedicated just to this. It's really comes down to the agent at the store level, um, along with they have their own CRM, their own call tracks, their own everything. So we're able to measure it and see their success and watch them grow, and it's been pretty awesome. Especially people that are we've had some people that are straight up high school and be able to make really high paychecks just by doing this and just killing it. So um, it's always something really cool to see, especially in the automotive industry, because it's pretty prevalent.
What are you thinking about experimenting with for the back half of the year?
Right now, we're experimenting. We're doing a lot with AI automation, being able to handle a lot of the requests. So I hear something in a meeting, and it might be, "Oh, this takes me 4 hours every week, or this takes me 6 hours every week." And those are different departments that I'm talking about, mainly on the service side. And to me, as a marketing director, I know it's not exactly my role to be able to do those things. But if I could help someone based on my skill set with AI automation and being able to have that, being able to save them that time every week and just have it automated, whatever they're doing, pull in reporting, or even simple things like HR's newsletter to the employees, being able to have forms come in and automate that so it's formatted properly. Each store has their talking points, their photos, and all that stuff. That's a big priority for me, especially just taking some workload off of people so then they can work on the business instead of in the business, especially at the executive level.
I feel like there's a parallel between Dustin, the intern, who just started helping out with SEO, and now that Dustin, the marketing director, helping out with AI across the department there.
I guess it's the evolution of the role, at least at this current state, because AI is very unique. I know there's a lot of people that are scared of AI, but for me, I'm seeing it as a great tool to be able to rely on and have in your back pocket. So trying to use the most, make the most of it.
Until it comes after us, I think that's the right path.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the movies, and so that does scare me, but we'll wait for the robots.
I like to think you can be the one to know how to work with the robots, and they'll put you on their side of the equation.
Yeah, I say thank you sometimes in ChatGPT, so I think that might be my saving grace, but I don't know about everyone else.
I saw some interview with Sam Altman where he's like, we waste blah, 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 zillion gigawatts of power responding to people that just say thank you. Like,
I mean, if your AI is that smart, it should probably know better not to have to process that. Am I right?
I agree.
Yeah. Just
don't tell
even
AI I
respond.
said that, though. Don't want
I'm pretty sure it's listening, but.
Well, Dustin, how do people connect with you if they want to reach out or follow you?
The best way to reach me would be LinkedIn, Dustin Schuler. If you find me on there with the Bud Clary Auto Group, and always happy to connect with other people, especially like-minded individuals that are looking to grow, especially in the AI space or marketing space. I am part of a 20 group of other auto dealers, and so being able to learn from others has been a really good thing for me, especially growing in my role, because we could always learn something from each other. So always happy to connect. You can find me on LinkedIn.
Dustin, Matthew, thank you both.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hope you enjoyed this conversation. If you did, please subscribe to the show. It helps us get out to more people like you. And if you know somebody or you're somebody that's a sharp marketer in automotive, please reach out to us. We'd love to feature you on the show. Reach out to Ashley at dealeromg.com.